have a very funny brother who just came and was just featured on the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Please give it up for Kevin Turner.
Hey, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Nah, I'm American. I'm just kidding. I am. I'm a veteran. Thank you. Thanks. No, that's nice of you. I get it's a weird time to be a veteran in America with the political divide, you know? Like if I go to a conservative town and I say I'm a veteran, they're always like, woo, yeah! And if I go to a liberal town, they're like, no, let's see if you're racist first. Like I go down to Alabama, they're like, how many guns you have? And up here in New York City, they're like, did you storm the Capitol? I'm like, you have the rest of this set to find out, I guess. Yeah, I get it. I do come from a big military family. I got 2 brothers, both Marines, both deployed, both got injured, and I got arrested. So, you know, you're welcome for that, I guess. I don't know, I'm self-conscious about my military service because I never really felt like I served. You know, I was an engineer in the Air Force. The most warlike thing I ever did was try to plan lunch with only the people I liked, you know? That's all. My brothers, they did get injured. One of my brothers, well, I won't use his real name for privacy, so let's just say Jeffrey Townsend Turner. Jeff got shot in the helmet. An Afghan soldier kind of saved his life. Jeff was climbing up a berm and the Afghan was pulling him up when shots were fired, so the Afghan dropped him and he slid back down the berm, and as he was sliding back down, his helmet slid forward. And right as his helmet slid forward, the bullet struck right where his helmet slid to. Now, he just got like a welt on his forehead. He was fine, but that's not what my mom told me. My mom grew up very poor, very German. She doesn't have time for emotions. She's task-oriented. So I was in high school at the time, so I just came home from school one day, and right as I walk in the kitchen, my mom just goes, Jeff got shot in the head. But he's okay. Oh, and your father's gay. No, I'm just kidding. My dad's not gay. He's a pilot. Those aren't related. It's just a fun fact. Yeah, my dad is a pilot, and pilots are cool, and that's weird for me. Women consistently rank pilot as being one of the sexiest professions for a man, and I just have a hard time sexualizing my father. But I'll try. I'll give it a shot. I get it. I get why pilots have this sexy reputation, because the things they say to you just sound like they're hitting on you. Last time I flew with him, I met him at the gate an hour early, and he was like, Kev, you want to just get on the plane now? And I was like, shouldn't I wait for my zone? And he's like, Kev, I fly the thing. You board when I say you board. And I was like, oh my God, Dad, stop. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to have sex with you. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do love my dad. He over-explains things, though. Sometimes it's great. Like when I was little, he explained how planes fly in the most beautiful way. I was like, Dad, how do planes fly? He's like, well, you know how the wing of an airplane is flat on the bottom and curved on the top? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, that air flows differently under the wing than it does over the wing, and that difference creates pressure. And I was like, wow, what's pressure? And he's like, well, you know how when you jump in a pool, you can feel the weight of all the water around you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's pressure. And that pressure pushes the wings up, and that's how planes fly. And I was like, wow. But I didn't need everything explained that way. Like when I was like, Dad, what's divorce? And he's like, well, you know how you can't go to sleep late at night because you hear Mommy and Daddy screaming at each other downstairs? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, that creates tension. And I was like, wow, what's tension? And he's like, well, you know how you run downstairs and when you get in the kitchen, everything gets real quiet and you feel this heavy weight in your heart like it's your fault? And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's tension. And you know how you catch daddy in the garage by himself drinking a bottle of scotch? I was like, yeah. He's like, that's depression. And tension mixed with depression make mommy and daddy go get lawyers to compete for your love. And I was like, oh, is that why I have 2 bikes? And he's like, yeah, that's divorce. So I have anxiety. I do. I'm very anxious. My parents call it Catholic. I do have anxiety. I get anxious all the time. I am a recovering Catholic. I don't go to church anymore, but I do miss some parts though. You know, like there was always this one part of the mass where the priest did like a 10-minute chant soliloquy, and it was always fun trying to see when he was gonna end it, you know? He's like, we're praying like this, and we've been praying like this for 10 minutes. When is he gonna wrap it up? Is it over? Is he gonna end it soon now? How much longer is this gonna go? Oh, is it finally over? No, he's gonna keep going for another 30 seconds like this. Amen. And everyone's like, amen. Yeah, man. I admire religious people. I really do, because they're a confident breed. You know, I don't think anyone can deny that. Like the guy who works behind the desk in my gym is very religious, and I knew that because he told me in the first 30 seconds of the meeting. First time I met him, I walked in, I was like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, good, God is great. And then he just talked to me for 5 minutes straight about how great God was. And I was like, Jesus. And he was like, exactly. Guys, my name is Kevin Turner. Thank you so much. Have a good night.